Good morning, everyone, and thanks so much for joining our Japan 2020 digital show for this December. I'm Will DuPree.
And I am Erin Cargile. Last one of the year, Will.
I know, can you believe that? We've been doing this for several months now, but we finally reached the end of 2020.
Yeah, it's crazy to think it's December. I mean, a long year for all of us, for sure.
That is for sure. And today is a bit of a bittersweet one, and this is involving Erin a little bit. We'll talk about that here in just a little bit, so we'll tease that for you all, but we also want to discuss a few headlines before we talk to an infectious disease expert here in just a few minutes.
Yeah, we really had a hard time boiling down the headlines because there's been a lot of Olympic news come out over the last few weeks. But we've tried to pick the most very important and timely topics to discuss with you because a lot has happened. Some things have been canceled. We've got a vaccine on the way, so a lot to get to.
Yeah, for a Tuesday, we appreciate it, everybody joining us. So first up, delaying the Tokyo Olympics. We've been talking about that a lot because of the coronavirus pandemic. That is estimated to carry a cost of billions of dollars.
Yeah, several major news outlets in Japan recently reported the one-year postponement will be about $3 billion. However, organizers of the Summer Games are refuting those reports.
The news outlets are each citing similar figures, though, and unidentified sources close to the Games. Organizers said they are in the process of assessing those additional costs and declined to share much else about that.
Yeah, there's a study from the University of Oxford that reported these are the most expensive Summer Olympics on record. I mean, even having covered the Winter Games in South Korea, I couldn't even begin to list off all of the expenses. I clearly am no expert on this, but just, everything from the building of the venues to the hotel rooms that had to be canceled due to the postponement, to the printing out the tickets for these events and all of the fans and the spectators, the athletes that were on their way there, and then everything came to a screeching halt. All the money, obviously, that had been poured into it from the country of Japan. Plus, we talked about in the last show all the advertisers and the sponsors of just the Olympic Games in general. So crazy to think, but there's a figure for you, $3 billion, and now you can see why. Deciding to postpone was such a big decision, and then now deciding how to handle this thing in 2021 after all of the investment there.
Yeah, they were also saying in the reporting that extra cost is because of COVID-19 procedures and safeguards, including testing and potentially for that vaccine that's coming as well.
Yeah.
Maybe getting athletes and fans vaccinated before they attend the games themselves. Now, turning to the Olympic Winter Games, though, we want to tell you about this. The ongoing pandemic is derailing plans to prepare for that particular event.
Yeah, we can't forget that we've got the Winter Games coming, and those are still set for 2022. So the International Ski Federation canceled several events in China that were supposed to test the venues for those 2022 Beijing Olympics. The organization cited travel restrictions related to COVID-19.
And those precautions include a mandatory 14-day quarantine for all international visitors in China. The Ski Federation said it will look for replacement hosts, but it added that all competition venues for the Olympics in Beijing should be completed in the next few weeks, which is a pretty remarkable feat there.
Yeah, so of course you've got now two Olympic Games virtually back to back as they try to plan for both. Back to the Summer Olympics for now, organizers announced a series of 18 test events, and those are going to start in March, so right around the corner.
At least 4 of those test events will involve athletes from abroad, actually. Those include swimming, gymnastics, diving, and volleyball.
Yeah, officials say none of the test events will allow fans from other countries. However, some events will welcome an unspecified number of spectators from Japan. So again, moving forward with these test events for the Summer Games in July of 2021, and a lot to be tested, not just how a regular sporting event's going to be pulled off, but I imagine that they're going to be testing some of the health and safety precautions that they are considering putting in place. How is that going to work? And then when you multiply those crowds even more, what's that going to look like?
Yeah, the reporting did say that too. And we're also waiting to find out which exact safeguards the International Olympic Committee will put in place for the Summer Games in Tokyo. However, we're getting some indications about what kinds of actions that organizers will take to protect fans as well as athletes?
Yeah, there's a few different scenarios that they're considering. So organizers said recently Olympic athletes will likely be encouraged to leave Japan a day or two after they finish competing. So they're not expected this next go-round to just hang around, watch other athletes, essentially relax after there's been so much build-up to their competition. And this also brought to mind, well, that means they can't stick around for the closing ceremony. Not
Right.
that that's as heavily attended as the opening ceremony, but you want to be able to kind of let your guard down, breathe, it's finally over, and enjoy the city a little bit, especially a cool place like Tokyo.
Yeah.
And those athletes may also be discouraged from sightseeing and holding parties within the athlete village. That's a big part of the Olympic experience for these athletes.
An interim report on contingencies for holding those Tokyo Games also floated the idea of a mobile app that could track the health of fans from abroad if they're allowed to even attend. That remains a question at this point. A Japanese news outlet also reported that Japan may require overseas visitors to buy private insurance before they arrive to reduce that public cost of treating anyone infected with the novel coronavirus.
This is fascinating because, again, we're not just talking about athletes, we're talking about fans, the spectators who are going to go to Tokyo and watch these different events take place. And so they're trying to decide, okay, how are we also going to regulate, the health of the fans and the safety there. This all remains unknown if visitors or athletes will be required to get vaccinated before the Olympic Games as well. We talked about that last month and what that's going to look like, and even more so of a conversation now as we get closer to a vaccine becoming readily available.
Toshiro Muto, who is the CEO of the local organizing committee in Tokyo, told reporters recently right here, if the games are to be held under the COVID-19 pandemic, which it still is, I don't think the Olympics will be as festive as they have been in the past. We decided to hold a simplified Olympics. Therefore, the Tokyo Olympics will be simplified rather than celebratory. Again, this is giving people some sort of indication about what the games will look like and what the celebration around it will as well.
Yeah, it's such a different atmosphere, it already sounds like, as they prepare for this thing. It's like, get to Tokyo, all business, do your event, do your sport, and get home, basically, and keep everyone safe, both the other athletes and the spectators there. So a very watered down version, but still talking about spectators being able to be there.
That's true. Well, we now want to bring in the conversation a doctor who keeps joining us month after month to talk about COVID-19 and its potential effects on the Olympics. Dr. Stephen Thomas is the chief of the infectious disease division at Upstate University Hospital in Syracuse, New York. Dr. Thomas, it is always good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. We really do appreciate that.
Good morning.
Yeah,
I want to start real quick, Will, before you jump into your questions.
Right.
We jumped on here, said hello to him before we started this live stream, said, how are you doing, Dr. Thomas? And you said, not good. There is quite a situation happening there in New York where you're from, so fill us in just on the reality for you guys there and the cases rising.
Yeah, so I'm in Syracuse, and so that's central New York, kind of the middle of the state, and we are part of one of a few microclusters that are occurring in the state of New York. And so, for context, back in April and May, when we had our first surge, we probably had in our county 60 to 70 new cases a day. The hospitals had maybe 30 to 40 patients, maybe 10% of them in the intensive care unit. And we are now consistently, day after day, testing more or having more than 300 to 350 new cases every day. The hospital has over 130 patients. Our intensive care unit is full. Many of those patients are intubated and are on ventilators, and we have new deaths almost every day. So, and this surge that we're having here really has eclipsed and dwarfed the what we had back in April and May. So it's really not a good situation here right now.
that is definitely unfortunate to be able to talk about, and we're going to get into that here again in just a moment. But we want to mention that today the United Kingdom has begun administering coronavirus vaccines from Pfizer to its very first patients. And if you take a look at this video right here, the first person to get that vaccine was 91-year-old Margaret Keenan. And we also want to point out that the second person to get that COVID-19 vaccine from Pfizer in the UK was a man named William Shakespeare. No lie, that is actually his name. So again, Dr. Thomas, I mean, that is a moment to a little bit of a levity in this really serious situation, but we want to point out here in the U.S. we have not been given any kind of approval officially for vaccines, and there's still, plans being worked out for distribution on top of the surge that you were just talking about that's really happening all across the U.S. So if you take a look at these numbers right here, the CDC reported more than 1.3 million new cases just in the last 7 days. That is in the last week here in the U.S. Dr. Thomas, what do you think it's going to take to avoid some type of surge on top of the surge that is coming after Thanksgiving with Christmas and New Year's coming up next? Are we looking at more lockdowns? What do you think is going to be happening next?
Yeah, so this is a two-sided coin. So on one side of the coin is, this very dismal news that you were just sort of mentioning, and but on the other side of the coin is to change this and to change these trends is very much within our power to do that, not just as individuals, but as communities and counties and states and as a nation. Public health behaviors, so I'm talking the foundation of which is wearing a mask and not gathering outside of your family unit and your very small pod that you have created over the last 9-10 months. If you can consistently execute those public health behaviors, this can all change. And we know that because many places in the United States and the world have used those what we call kind of non-pharmacologic interventions to change their curves. And some places where they've consistently applied it, they've been able to keep the case number low, and they've been able to open up their society. So, for me, people, I think, look at having to wear a mask and having to physically distance and the ideas of getting tested if you get sick. They look at those as infringements upon, freedom or infringement upon how they want to live their life. Whereas I look at it as consistently doing those things. That's the pathway to kids being in school and small businesses being open and restaurants being open and ultimately getting back to, going to sporting events, in person and going to the arts in person. So I kind of look at it as the pursuit of a positive versus trying to avoid the negative. But obviously not everybody feels that way, which is why we are in this disastrous situation that we're in.
And talking about the vaccine, Pfizer and Moderna both waiting on emergency authorization for their respective vaccines. A federal panel of vaccine experts are going to be meeting this week to consider Pfizer's shot, and again next week for Moderna's. The green light from the FDA looks like it'll be given soon after that. We talked about who could be the first to receive this vaccine. Has that changed at all? Who do you think should be among the first to receive it?
Yeah, so the committee that'll meet on Thursday to deliberate on the Pfizer vaccine, that's one committee that advises the FDA. The other committee that advises the FDA, which is called the ACIP, and that's kind of an FDA-CDC collaboration, they've already met and they've already put out their guidance as to who they think should be first in line, second in line, third in line to receive the vaccine. And other groups have weighed in as well. Internationally, groups have weighed in, different medical societies and medical specialty societies. So people believe that, frontline healthcare workers that are caring for COVID patients day in and day out, they need to be in the top tier of recipients. Second would be people who work in these long-term care facilities and the residents of those long-term care facilities, who are typically older folks and folks with other medical problems. So the reason for those two groups being in the top tier gets to what the burden of COVID is, right? So there are people out there who say, and it's true, hey, listen, the vast majority of people who get infected are going to survive and they're going to be fine. That is true. The problem is when we're talking about millions and millions of people getting infected, even that small number who get sick and need to go to the hospital, it can overwhelm the healthcare system. So you need to protect the healthcare system, and you need to try and prevent disease in that group that needs to utilize the healthcare system, which is our older populations. So then the next tier would be people who are in essential jobs. So basically jobs that are required to keep our society running and that they can't do them from home. So that would be like first responders, policemen and policewomen, firemen and firewomen, teachers, people who work in correctional facilities, and again, older people with medical comorbidities. And then when you get down into the third and the fourth tiers, you start getting into kind of the rest of society.
Yeah, that was my next question, Dr. Thomas. And when is the expectation that this will be available for the general public, for all the rest of us to be able to go and get that shot?
So that question is a little nuanced because there are some assumptions, right, that you have to make. So if the assumption is we're only going to have one vaccine available, so let's just say it's the Pfizer vaccine, they get a thumbs up from the FDA on Thursday or Friday and they start shipping vaccine, then the timeline could be, third quarter or fourth quarter of next calendar year. But if the Moderna vaccine also gets a thumbs up, you now have two vaccine manufacturers that are pushing vaccines into the United States. And then AstraZeneca is right behind them, right? And so, and then you have two other groups that are also in advanced testing. So it really depends on how many vaccines are going to be available. But regardless, with the way the playing field looks like right now, I don't anticipate that young, healthy people are going to be offered vaccine until the third quarter of next calendar year.
And that moves us into, speaking of young, healthy folks, circling back to the Olympics, do you think athletes, spectators, even journalists, our team from our own company going to Tokyo to cover the games, do you think that they should be required or heavily suggested that they get a vaccine before they go?
So I do believe that anyone who meets criteria for vaccination with a COVID vaccine should strongly consider taking that vaccine. And we've spoken before that that's yet another challenge that we're going to have to ending this pandemic, is people not wanting to take a vaccine, even if the regulatory authorities in their countries have said it's safe and effective. But assuming that people will take it, yes, if they meet the criteria for vaccination, then they should be vaccinated. That being said, these vaccines are going to be distributed at national levels, but then distribution will then occur at a state level. So each individual state is going to have a little bit of say in where those initial doses go, who they go to, when they go to them. So then the question would be, okay, well, you're trying to get people to assemble for an event in a foreign country. What if these people in their home countries don't meet requirements for vaccination and they haven't been vaccinated yet, but Japan is requiring them to be vaccinated? That's going to create a little bit of a sticky situation. And as we've discussed before, young, healthy athletes are not at the front of the line for vaccination. And if then you got to start having very kind of sensitive ethical questions about, well, how important is the Olympics compared to the people living in assisted, in congregate living scenarios, older people with medical problems, and then that gets very dicey.
Finally, Dr. Thomas, you just mentioned this a little bit at the first bit of your answer there, but what do you say to anyone who is maybe still hesitant about potentially getting that vaccine relatively soon?
I guess the first thing I would say is that I understand, that I get it. We normally take a long period of time to develop and to license and to make available a drug or a vaccine, especially in the United States. And so I would just say that, yeah, I understand that when something gets developed within a year, that you may have questions or you may have concerns. The second thing that I would say is that, unfortunately, there is a lot of noise out there as it relates to information about vaccines and the COVID vaccines in particular. So I would recommend that people search a number of sources for their information and they read from a number of different sources about this vaccine development process. The third thing I would say is, just from sort of my perspective of having been a vaccine developer for 20 plus years and being very involved in COVID vaccine development, there have been shortcuts that have been taken, but none of them relate to safety. They relate to taking financial risk. They relate to doing regulatory or administrative actions in parallel versus sequentially. There have been nothing different in how these trials are designed from a safety perspective. And the FDA is not looking at them differently from a safety perspective. So, that would be kind of some of the initial guidance I would give, I would give to people.
Dr. Stephen Thomas, we appreciate you always making time for us every single month for the past year almost. And we will keep checking with you, and we hope you stay well up there in upstate New York.
Yeah, good luck with the challenging situation that you guys are dealing with your ICUs full.
Thank you. Happy holidays.
You too. Always good to have him join our streams, Erin.
Yeah.
And we have so much more to talk about today, just past everything that we discussed with Dr. Thomas there.
Yeah, at the very beginning of the show, we mentioned there was a bit of a surprise, some bittersweet news. If you've caught me maybe saying a couple times here and there over the last couple of months, I am about to have a baby, literally about 2 weeks away from the due date at this point. So that's leading us into our next segment, what's going to happen when I go on maternity leave literally after today.
Today, yeah. It's a big moment for sure, and a bittersweet one again for all of us here. But we do have some news to share, so take a look at this.
Yeah, we taped a little something for you.
Hey everyone, I am now magically at my house in a very special room. I'm going to tell you about that in just a minute. You can see Will is here with me. Also, Andrew Martin, our sports director at KSEE, our next star station in Fresno, California. Hey, good morning, Andrew.
Good morning, Erin. Good morning, Will. How are you guys today?
We
Doing
are
okay.
Great. Thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, no problem. Always fun to talk Olympics whenever we can do that.
When Will and I come to you guys, once a month, you really only see me from the shoulders up. But I am due to have a baby here in the next 2.5 weeks. So I'm pregnant, very far along. And so I've been getting this baby room ready. And the timing is very interesting with the Olympics. So was supposed to go to Tokyo in 2020. Obviously, no baby at that time. Now things are much different. And then the Olympics were postponed. And so I had to make the decision, am I going to go to Tokyo in 2021 with a 6-month-old baby at that time, since he's due the week of Christmas? And so I made the tough decision that I wanted to stay here and spend that time with my new baby boy. And so I'm not going to be going to Tokyo. And I know it's hard to tell right now that I'm pregnant because you still can't see me. But let's take this picture that I took just a couple of months ago. I was on a baby moon in California. So Andrew, I was in your neck of the woods celebrating before life is about to drastically change. So there you can see proof that I am pregnant.
Super happy for you. We're sad that you won't be going to Tokyo potentially with us, but at the same time, thrilled for the next chapter of your life.
Thank you, Andrew. And also, why you're here rather is because I'm about to go on maternity leave. I can't host the digital show with Will anymore, and I'm not going to Tokyo. So I need you to take my place as a co-host here on the show.
Covering an Olympic Games is certainly a lot of work, and it'll be disappointing to not have you on the team. But we know you'll be there with us in spirit, and I guess Will and Candy from KXAN will be holding down the fort.
Andrew, you have been to the Olympics quite a few times. Tell us about that experience and what you've done there.
I've been fortunate to cover 2 Olympics. The Rio Games was my first experience into that foray. That was 2016 in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, of course. And then in 2018, I got to go to Pyeongchang, South Korea. Got to actually go to the demilitarized zone as part of a venture before the games actually got started. That was a really interesting jaunt. But I grew up just kind of cheering on the U.S. at the Olympics, but it is a whole nother animal when you're actually there, seeing it in person, the competition, the athletes, the families, the fans, etc. Just, you have so much pride for your country. And I had pride as a journalist to be there and tell those stories. So to be chosen once was amazing. To get to go again was something that I never thought would be possible. And now to be chosen for a third time, either they really like me or, again, they just want to keep sending me out of the country for a month.
Andrew is one of 7 reporters who's going to be covering the Summer Olympics in Tokyo. I was one of the 7. Now I decided not to go. And so we want to show you the whole gang. So as you can see, you've got Andrew from Fresno, California, Jack Doles, who is another Olympic veteran. Is he up to number 13 Olympics or 14? I can't keep up.
I can't keep up either, Erin. We call him the Godfather because he is literally the authority figure when it comes to the Olympics.
Also on the team, we have got Maria Lena Baloris from our Norfolk, Virginia station, Wavy. Very excited to have her on the team. Hey, Andrew, you want to take on the next 4 team members?
Candy Rodriguez, who is going to be replacing you from KXAN in Austin. We have Melissa Marino coming from our station in Tampa, Florida. Matt Barnes from Columbus, Ohio, and Justin Surrency from WHO-TV in Des Moines, Iowa.
I'm sad to not be part of the team anymore, but I'm passing the baton to you, Andrew. And Willie, you're not going anywhere. You're going to be right here hosting this digital show with Andrew.
That's right. I'll be in this room right here, this very well-lit room, as you can see, and I will be bringing you these monthly streams to talk about our Olympic coverage from here on out.
Yeah, you guys are.
And I should also jump in and say that hopefully my background will look a little bit better. There is construction going on outside of my house, and so I had to find a room that was quiet so I could talk to you guys. But it's a very plain background behind me. Hopefully there's a little bit more spice moving forward. But Will, yeah, looking forward to having these regular conversations with you. Erin, I'll probably be blowing up your phone, texting, phone calls, emails, etc. With updates of what we're doing. And we want to see updates from you also. We want to know how the baby's doing, and we want to know when that baby's first Olympic word is something first word is something Olympic related. Because I mean,
for sure.
If you name your baby Pyeongchang, there might be a fool going.
Nobody will be able to spell it. That's for sure.
Well, Erin, we just want to say congratulations to you and your family. This is such an incredible thing, and we've been glad to have you for this many months.
Thank you. I'll be cheering you guys on from home, watching the digital show every month, and I cannot wait for July when those opening ceremonies kick off.
So 2 big bits of news there. First, Erin, this is your last show with us, and such an exciting chapter. I mean, this is going to be such a great time for you and your family. And also, we want to welcome Andrew, who's going to be joining us next month, starting in January.
Yeah, a lot of changes, and the another surprise in there for all of our Texas folks that Candy Rodriguez from our station here at KXAN is sliding into my spot. I'm super excited for her. Justin Surrency is another newish face on the team. One of our other team members that was in Rio and South Korea was not able to go this time around either. So, you know, Andrew said he was going to be texting me updates from Tokyo. I don't think he's going to have time to do that.
Because it's going to be a lot of work, as you well know.
Yeah. All the journalists there, all the faces that you just saw. Yes, it's very exciting, but it is so much work because every single one of those journalists, we call them MMJs, multimedia journalists, they are going to be shooting and editing their own video while they're there, putting their stories together that they're sending back to you at home all across the U.S., and then, you know, waking up every morning or night, depending on what time they're slated for in Tokyo and what time it is back here in the U.S., and then they're doing those live shots and updating you guys on all of the excitement going on, the results, the personal stories, both of the athletes, the fans. I mean, it's a whirlwind, and so a lot of work, but also a lot of fun. And at the end, you finally get into a groove, and then it's time to come home. And then so many layers on top of that with the pandemic, an unusual circumstance like nobody has ever seen before, and I think that's going to take center stage as well when everyone is in Tokyo.
Yeah, we're still waiting for all those kind of guidelines and protocols that the athletes, the fans, the media that will be going to cover it, what it's all going to involve because of the pandemic. It's, again, that extra layer of just uncertainty for this event. But Erin, we will miss you so much here in the studio and on our show. But what a cool thing that's going to be happening to you in just, a couple weeks?
I know, and I've been working through all of it. I told you when I got here this morning that I was driving to the studio and I thought, oh my goodness, I'm having a baby. My life's about to change. And I know I've been preparing for that for a while now with the pregnancy, but you go, and then you realize, oh my goodness, you slow down and take a breath, and then have your final day of work and say it is here, and things are about to look a lot different. The team of 7 7 that we just showed you. Next Star reporters from all over the country. What's awesome is, even when the postponement happened for the July 2020 games, these journalists, we continued to bring you stories of athletes, how they were impacted by the pandemic, how they had changed their training, what that looked like under all the crazy circumstances. And so we've been calling these stories Journey to Tokyo, if you haven't been following along. And these stories air every single week. We bring you a brand new one in your city, wherever you live. And so this week, our Melissa Marino, who you saw from our Tampa station, she brought us a story about a new Olympic sport, surfing, that's going to debut in the now 2021 games in Tokyo.
So Surfline currently has 3 live streaming cameras of Sheeta Sheeta Beach.
We all want the perfect assignment at work. For Kurt Corte, this is it.
I definitely didn't get into this thinking I was going to be, the first, forecaster for the Olympics for surfing, which is, obviously a huge honor.
Corte is the lead forecaster for Surfline, based on the Outer Banks of North Carolina. He's been named the official wave watcher for the inaugural event at the Olympics in Tokyo.
When you look at wave production, it's pretty much wind blowing over the ocean. If you have wind blowing over the ocean, then you can generate waves.
The competition will be held at one of Japan's most popular surf spots, Sheeta Sheeta Beach. Kurt has been studying the conditions there for years. In 2014, he and his crew at Surfline helped gather important data that helped score surfing a spot in the Olympic lineup.
We actually did some studies for the International Surfing Association to find out the feasibility of actually running a contest during the Olympic window in Japan.
To prepare for the Olympics, he went to Tokyo in 2019 for a test event. Corte says, believe it or not, Japan's coastline is actually similar to the surf back home in North Carolina.
You have a warm water current that runs right offshore. Here it's the Gulf Stream. Over there it's called the Kuroshio. So very similar. That time of year that we're looking at, the Olympic window, we're looking at typhoon swells, which is very similar to what we depend on here for our surf.
And until the games get underway, you can bet Kurt will be keeping an eye on Surfline's cameras at Sheeta Sheeta.
It's going to be great, but gosh, I got my fingers crossed that we're going to get good waves.
On the journey to Tokyo, I'm Melissa Marino.
Such a cool story. I cannot wait to see what surfing is going to be like, since we've never seen that before at the Olympics.
Yeah, I know nothing about surfing, Will, and I actually was telling you before we jumped on this live stream about a documentary that I just watched a few days ago. It's on Amazon called Tokyo Rising, and it's about a USA surfer who, his whole journey to qualify for the 2020 games, and I'm not sure. I think he already qualified, so I believe he is still set to go for 2021. But John Florence, his feat to beat out a guy that you do know of, Kelly Slater, an older surfer. And so I learned a lot of things while watching that documentary just a few days ago. But also the fact that you think about these sports that do rely on the elements. I mean, no wave, no day, no conditions are ever going to be exactly the same as the day before. And so the big challenge of that, as opposed to something that's indoor, very controlled, like gymnastics or wherever
Swimming
the case might be.
like
Yeah,
that,
yeah. So we're going to learn a lot, and I'm like, man, I sure hope these commentators during the Olympics are going to really break this down.
Really on top of it,
because what are you looking for in surfing? I mean,
Right.
all the little, the technicalities of it, which I myself and I know a lot of people out there are going to be clueless if they don't come from an area or have never watched this sport.
Right. And speaking of a first-time sport, we're now getting a picture about what the games in 2024, so the next summer games in Paris, a new sport has been announced just yesterday, and we wanted to take a look at this because it's a little bit unexpected, at least for me, whenever I saw this. So the Olympics in Paris in 2024 will have breakdancing as the latest sport, which is pretty incredible, I think.
Yeah, I mean, this is not a joke. This is real.
Yeah,
This
I mean,
is real.
very athletic, and this is a video that the Olympics put on their Twitter account yesterday announcing the sport, and breakdancing actually debuted at the Youth Olympic Games back in 2018, and as you can see, very athletic.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely need skill for that.
Yeah, no kidding.
This is fascinating to me, and it's good to talk about some good news and get excited over something looking beyond into the future, when hopefully our world and our country look a lot different than now.
We can watch this video all day, I think, too.
know, that's fun.
But that comes to the end, the conclusion of our December show for Japan 2020. And Erin, I just want to say and wish you well. Congratulations to your family. We are going to miss you so much here. It's always a treat for me to at least have this one day with you to come into the studio, because we've been changing things up due to the pandemic, and it's always nice to have you here. And I just wish you all the best.
Oh, thank you, Will. You have done such an incredible job taking the reins of this show. You guys don't know. I show up every week. Will does a lot of the hard work behind the scenes of really getting the rundown together and what we're going to say and talk about here every single month. And I thank all of you guys out there who've been following along, whether it's your first digital show to join us on, or you're here, every Tuesday at the first of the month. And sometimes we switch it around on you. And I think we do Monday and Tuesday sometimes. But we just really appreciate all of you, and I'm going to miss you, and it's going to be really weird taking a bit of a break, but so many changes and a lot of no sleep, and so I got to gear up for that.
Rest up now for all of that, but we can't wait to see your little boy too.
Yeah,
So
I'll
please
definitely
send
send
us a picture,
pictures, and hopefully on the next digital show at the beginning of January, he'll be here, and you'll see what this little guy looks like.
I cannot wait. Well, Erin, again, congratulations. Thank you for being here all these months, and maybe you'll get to join another few months at some point back on the digital show with all of us here.
Yeah, I hope so. Until next time, all of you guys have a very happy holidays, and we will see you next time, or Will and Andrew Martin will see you in 2021.
All right. See you guys later.